When I'm on the football field, the other team, I bet, they're not expecting me to really be able to kick it like I did.
So to this day, when they like rush him up, like when he makes the field goal and they all, run up and smack his helmet, like I start to cry.
So it's kind of fun to, walk up in there and show them what I can do and just see their eyes light up like just not expecting it.
Wow.
So that's kind of what I live for,
Christian, you've been scoring in a lot of ways in life, in a lot of ways that people didn't expect from the very beginning. And your mom, I know, is a huge reason why. Nikki, tell me a little bit about when Christian was born and what you were told about his prognosis and what he'd be able to do.
And their main concern was there was nothing passing through his intestines, so they had to do emergency surgery. He also had a heart murmur. In addition to his arms, they called him shiny. They were just flat and shiny, and he had never moved inside the womb.
Then came the diagnosis of arthrogryposis. Children born with it have joints that do not move much and may be stuck in one position. Often there is a lack of muscular development and growth.
They didn't figure that, he would ever roll over, sit up, crawl, walk, nothing, that we should just do physical therapy and occupational therapy to keep him as mobile as we could, that it wasn't ever going to get better, and that the therapy was more to teach him how to live as he was.
And thankfully, Christian never knew any of that.
No. But he was my first, and I was only 20 years old, so we learned together. We grew up together. We learned everything together. His normal was my normal. I didn't have anything to compare it to. It seemed like the more we tried to get him to do things, the more he shut down. Or I remember being in therapy thinking I was going to pass out, blowing bubbles to keep him from crying because he was so upset and he didn't want to do it. And the only thing that made him happy was the bubbles. So I'd sit there for an hour blowing bubbles. But then, but I remember they did try to help him stand or to at least be upright. And they put him in a stander. And he would just scream and scream and scream. And that thing sat in my corner for a year at home because I refused to put him in it. And he eventually just started finding ways to pull himself up, or it just seemed like as soon as we quit with what we thought might help him learn things, he did it all on his own. He figured out his own way of how he was going to do it. And so.
Christian, are you still that way?
No way.
Yeah.
It's got to be your way.
Yeah, if it's not my way, I'm not doing it. No.
Yeah. Like football.
I want to hear your side of the story, because I heard your mom's. You decided you're going to play football, right? You didn't talk to your mom.
Not really. Yeah, I was a freshman at the time, and my friends were always playing football, and I was always bored at home. And my friend said, how about you come to the lift? How about you kick for us? And I'm like, maybe I should. I went home and I'm like, hey, Mom, next Thursday I'm not going to be home off the bus. I'm staying to lift. And I remember my mom just kind of looked at me, didn't really say anything. She's like, okay. And then the next Thursday I really didn't show up. I really lifted that day.
Were you scared when he said, Mom, I'm going to play football? Because
yeah. Partially. Obviously, physically, I was scared. I was afraid of him getting hurt. But then I was also afraid of him emotionally, if they were even going to let him join the team, if he was ever going to get to do anything with the team. And I didn't know any of his teammates, so I'm worried about how they were going to treat him.
Were you nervous about being accepted by the other guys and sort of fitting in like that?
Oh, yeah. I remember the first day, because we run out to the hallway, or this hallway, to do our warm-ups. And I remember before I stood up, I almost started going into a panic attack. Just worried about everybody accepting me, but also I hadn't run since the third grade in elementary.
Wow.
And so having to do both of those all of a sudden, and it was just, but I came out and I still did it. But for that first month, every time we came out to do warm-ups, I was almost in panic attack. It was, but I still did it.
And then basically football became his new PT. He actually kind of fixed his own knees. His kneecap isn't where it's supposed to be, and he was in some pain. We went and got stuff done, and basically what he had done, all this extra weightlifting with his legs and stuff, had put his kneecap closer to where it's actually supposed to be. And so all the pain he was in was actually okay. It was his body shifting for all the workout stuff that he was doing.
If I fall, I can break my fall.
Mm-hmm.
You can't break your fall, right?
Not really.
You learned how to fall. Tell me about some of those. I'm sure all that went through your mind. What are the kind of considerations here with the condition you have and playing football?
Well, it just kind of depends on the direction I'm falling in. So say if I'm falling forward, like without even thinking, my natural reaction is to lift my chin up and just turn my body and land on my side so I'm not hitting my face. Because my shoulders and everything, they can take it. If I'm falling behind me, I just try and go butt first, like just like sit down, then lay down. I don't even care if like I hurt my arms or anything. As long as my head's out of the way, I don't care.
I'm always worried about someone getting him here because his arms don't move. You know, and they could just snap his elbow. That was my big thing. And the guys always are the jump to help him up when he has got knocked down, when they rush him.
At first, the coaches asked the other team not to rush you, or how did that happen? Or,
so last year for JV, yeah, every time if I would go up to kick, we had to be up by 2 touchdowns before I could. But they say, yeah, just don't run at him. They want the time to be like a sub 1.3, somewhere around there, like between 1.3 and 1.5 for them to rush at you.
Okay.
I was like a 1.7, 1.8, so it was like it was getting blocked or I was getting hit either way. Before our first scrimmage, Coach was talking, and he mentioned something about my speed, not even being mean, not even thinking anything of it, and I got really mad. I was like, I kind of took it personally. I'm like, my speed, and so I stayed after practice an extra like 10 minutes. I'm like, all right, I'll show you speed, and I just started going at the ball, and I got my time from about 1.8 to a 1.5 in 5 minutes. I was that mad at myself.
Yeah. Oh my God.
But it was kind of funny because the first scrimmage, my coach wasn't quite. He knew that I got faster, but he forgot to tell the other team not to rush anyways. And so I'm going and I kick the ball, and as soon as I kick, I'm looking at the ball, and I feel someone run into my leg, and I watched the film, and I did like a ballerina spin and fell down.
They me a little pirouette.
At first, when I first felt it, I'm like, ooh, this has to look cool on film, and I look at it, and I'm like, well, not really. Actually,
it looked cooler in your mind.
It did. I thought that I was amazing.
He came home. He was so proud that they rushed him because his adrenaline was pumping. He felt like he kicked better, knowing they were coming at him, and
I do.
So he was so excited after that game.
Oh yeah.
School and other places at first. Do people at first, do you think, underestimate you, or what is?
Oh yeah, I think so. I mean, that's just kind of how it goes. People look at me and they don't expect me to be able to, write as well as I do, like you said, or eat as neat.
He's also like the most easygoing kid and makes fun of himself all the time, and so he likes to tease people too, like when they think they've offended him or hurt his feelings, and he'll go with it for a minute before he laughs and tells him he's just kidding or he understands or.
There's something about T-Rex.
There's one, that used to be a thing. I got called a lot.
But you actually turned it into a joke, or is is that true? Or okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we were driving one time, and that's when he told me it was Sexy Rexy. Is what he.
I love it.
Because there's all those T-Rex memes, with the short arms, and rather than like be offended, he just ran with it, and he made it like his thing, So it was. I spit out my drink when it actually was said to me in the car. I was like, you did not. That
is so funny. Because I think so many times people are like, I can't do certain things, or this is too hard. It just seems like you're just like, I'm just going to go for it, right? I mean, is that kind of your attitude, or what's your...
Yeah, just if someone says I can't do something, I don't care how long it takes. I'll show them that I can, or I'll die trying, honestly. Okay. I mean, I kind of have my limits, obviously, but for the most part, if someone says I can't do something, I'm going to try my hardest to do it.
And I never treated him different than anyone else either. Like, obviously, yes, to an extent, but, you made the mess, you clean it up. Like, there was no special treatment just because it was Christian.
And you're a really good student, too, right?
Yeah.
That's what I've been told.
Really good this year.
What's the future hold for you? What would you like to do, the ideal Christian future?
Mainly, I want to be like a forensic programmer sort of thing. Work with hacking into computers, trying to solve crimes.
Legally hacking into computers.
Legally, yes. Legally hacking into the computers, just helping, doing stuff like that. I always thought that was interesting.
Guys, is there any final word of advice you'd give for people? You as a mom, and you as a son, and facing challenges and having the courage, I guess, to even let him do all this incredible stuff.
Well, like I said, I mean, honestly, part of it, me being as young as I was, honestly, I think helped me in a way, because the me now tends to be more cautious than the me then was. But I watched so many kids, because he did go to a different school before he started public school, and so there were a lot of kids with disabilities, and I saw so many people that I felt like they handicapped their kids. Like they just automatically, they were told they couldn't, so they just didn't. They didn't try. They didn't do things, and that was one thing that really early on hit me. Like, I didn't want to do that to him. That, yeah, he might have to deal with disappointments, but we all do. It was just going to, that I didn't ever want to have to tell him no. that, you know, just because of whatever was going on, but he always wanted to be just like his classmates and his friends and do different things. And so I just wanted to always let him, there didn't hurt anything to try.
And I guess that strategy worked.
Yeah, I guess it worked pretty good.
A lot of people have that feeling you had when you started to run with the football team, where it's like that sort of panicky feeling inside, and how can I even do this? How'd you get over that?
Well, when I first started it, I really just, I hate backing down from things once I start them, so it was really more just like I committed to the team, I got to do it, so I just kind of pushed myself through it. But now it's more like if I'm in some sort of situation that like I don't think I can do it or I'm not sure, I just kind of count to 3 in my head and just go for it and hope it works out. Just kind of like, I just kind of have that mentality now after, you know, kicking for the past couple of years and being with the football team and everything else. It's just like, if I try hard enough, I know I'll do it. And that's just how it's been.